Hello students, good morning everyone. Welcome back to the online class. Today let us learn about programming languages in computer architecture. Okay, so in brief we will discuss what are the programming languages, what are the types of programming languages. Okay, so in the last video or in the last class we have seen that what are the instruction set of architecture, and also we have seen that instruction format of architecture with respect to examples as well as what classifications. Okay, so today's class, let us we will learn about new concept, that is the programming language. So what is that in general? Programming language, so programming language is a way of communicate between user and computer. It is a communication between user and computer is known as programming language. So language should be, anyway, it should be communicate between what? User and computer. Okay, so programmers use different programming languages to develop different softwares. So if you want to develop some different software, you have to use different programming language. Okay, so that language for different purposes. It may be scientific application. For example, you can take calculators. It may be entertainment. You can take the games, whatever you are playing that games. So that is the entertainment. Next, the third one is the multimedia applications. Music players or video players, you can use the multimedia applications. Business solutions, you can use the inventor control systems, or you can use nowadays whatever you are going to use the share market, it will sell or buy by using different kinds of the business solutions. And last one is the web development. With respect to what? You have to create the websites. Okay, so these are the languages for what? Different purposes. So these are the general things which we should know. Programming language with respect to what? User and computer. So next we will discuss types of programming language. So again, this programming language is mainly classified into two types. First one is the low level language, second one is the high level language. So again, this low level language is classified into two types. First one is the machine language, second one is the assembler language. Okay, so mainly we will focus on all the features of these languages. Okay, so first let us start with the features of low level languages. Okay, so what are the features of low level languages? So first one, low level language is close to the machine. So these languages are closer to the machine, so it is a machine dependence. Third one, not portable. It is a machine dependent, so depends on machine it will work. Okay, so totally it will depend on the machine, so that's why we can call it is a not portable. It is difficult to understand by human users. So whatever that machines languages are there, we cannot understand. Cannot understand. So that's why you can say it is a difficult to understand by humans or users. It requires deep understanding of computer architecture to write the program. So if you want to develop or if you want to write the program, you should understand the design of that computer architecture. So without knowing that computer architecture design, you cannot write the program. So that's why you can say it's required deep understanding of computer architecture to write the program. So first one is the low level language, is a closer to the machine. It is a machine dependent totally. It is not a portable. It is difficult to understand by human or users. It requires deep understanding of computer architecture to write program. So next we will discuss the types of low level language. So that is the machine language and assembler language. So there are two types. One is the machine language, and another one is the assembly language. So let us discuss features of machine language. So first of all, it is a native language of computer. It is the native language of computer. Second one, it is also called as a binary language, 0 or 1. So machine will always work on what? 0 or 1. So it will understand by 0 and 1 only. So machine language does not require any language translator. So you can directly access to that computer by using this machine language. So that's why you can say machine language does not require any language translator. It does not require any kind of the translator part. So instructions consist of zeros and ones. So only it is having zeros as well as what? Ones. It is a machine dependent. Difficult to understand by humans. Difficult to write program in it. You cannot easily write that program. It is very difficult. It is directly executed by computers. So there is a, already I told that there is a not necessary for what translator. So directly you can execute it by the computer itself. So program written in machine language is called object code. We will discuss later what is the object code, that one. Program written in a machine language is called as a object code. You can save that first dot object. You can save the file first dot object. So only you can focus on binary language, that is our binary numbers, zeros and ones. Okay, so this is called as a features of low level language. So first one is the native language of computer. Okay, so native, you can know native language of computer. It is also called as a binary language, 0 or 1. Machine language does not require any language to translator. Instruction consists of zeros and ones. Machine dependent. Difficult to understand by humans. Difficult to write the program in it. It is directly executed by computers. Computer only directly executed the languages. Okay, so program written in machine language is called object code. You can save this file as, or you can write first dot object, or you can take any name given. File should be what? Dot object. So next we'll move on to the features of assembly language or assembly language or assembler language. Okay, so assembly language is also called as a symbolic language. So to write symbolic way, you can easily understand. So it is an abstraction of machine language. It is an abstraction of machine language. For example, you can write binary numbers in machine language 1 1 0 0 1 1 0 1 0 1 1 1 0 1 1, or you can write here in symbolic language, in assembly language, that is the move you can write in one machine code. Another machine code you can write AX, another machine code you can write BX. So that's why it is called as a symbolic language. It is an abstraction of machine language. Third point in that, instruction consists of mnemonics. Means what? You can consist of some opcodes. Okay, opcodes. So that purpose, example, move, I can write add, I can write subtract and multiplication. We can take one program, move x comma 1 0, or add x comma bx. Okay, this language is second generation programming language. So this language is the second generation programming language. Assembler is required. So here in assembly language, assembler is required to translate this language into machine language. So if you want to translate the program in assembly into machine, you require one translator. Okay, so that is called as a assembler. So assembler is required to translate this language into machine language. Means what? Assembly language into machine language, you need one assembler. So that's why you can say translator is required. So next we will discuss the high level language. So what is that high level language? So again, in high level language, first point, it is close to home language. It is easily user friendly, well defined way of writing programs, easy to understand by users, easy to write the program. Once you can easily understand, you can write easily programs, not directly executed on computers. Already I told that directly executed only on computers on whatever programming language. So it is zeros and ones. Required translators. It is a machine independent. Okay, it is the machine independent. It doesn't depend on machines. It is a machine independent. Means what? So once if you want to write the code in terms of C or C++, we can use the different platform also by using this machine independent. That is Java, Pascal, COBOL, basic language. You can write that program also. So mostly okay. So required translator, machine independent, mostly used for writing application programs. Built-in functions are available. So whatever you are going to do that program, you are having got some built-in functions are available inside. So length of the code is short as compared to low level language. Length of the code is short as compared to low language. For example, C, C++, Java, Pascal, COBOL and BASIC. These all are the languages used for what they are high level languages. So that's why it is called as a close to home languages, user friendly, well defined way of writing programs, easy to understand by the users, easy to write the program, not directly executed on the computers, require translator, and it is very important, machine independent. You can write any program, any languages by using different platform. You can use this high level language. Okay, so next is the source program. We move on to the what is the definition of source program, or in what are the features of source program. The program written in high level language, the program written in high level language is known as a source program. It is created by the programmer. The program written in high level language is known as a source program. It is created by the programmer. Its extensions depends on programming language being used. What are that programming languages? So extension will be depends on programming languages being used. Example, first.c or first.java or first.net or first dot something different language, or if you want to use in computer programming, you can use that one. You can say with that extensions. So source program always needs one extensions. So that's why I can say the program written in a high level language is called as a source program. It is created by programmer. Its extensions depends on programming language being used. Examples are first.c or first.java or first.net or first. Any other language you can use. Okay. Next, the computer does not understand. The computer does not understand source code. The source code is converted into machine code and then it is directly executed on the computer. So every computer should understand the first that machine code. So that's why first that whatever you are creating that source program or source code is there, then convert it into machine code and then it is directly executed on the computer. It cannot directly execute on computer, that is source code. So you need again conversions. Okay, so that purpose converted into first machine code, then it is directly executed on the computer part. So next we will discuss object program. Object program. The program in machine language is known as a object program. The program in machine language is known as a object program. Means what? You can use one extension with respect to .obj. The computer understand the object code directly. The computer understand object code directly. It is created by language translator. It is created by a language translator. Its extension is .obj. Examples first .obj. So always you have to refer or you have to prepare .obj file. Okay. So every source program is converted into object code. So whatever you are going to write, that source program is first converted into object code. Okay, so this is the languages you are going to use for what? Programming. So what are the languages you are going to use? There are main two types of the languages. One is the low level language, another one is the high level language. Again, this low level languages divided into two types: machine language and assembler language. So in brief, you can say low level language is a closer to the machine. Okay, it's a machine dependent. It needs to require understanding of that computer design architectures. Next one is the machine language. So machine language always operate on what? Binary language, that is 0 and 1. It is a machine dependent. Humans are not easily understand. It is difficult to understand by humans. Okay, so program written in machine language is called as a object code. And in assembler language, you can use symbolic language or abstractions or mnemonics. Instruction consists of mnemonics like move, add, subtract and multiplications. In high level language, you can use user friendly, easy to understand, easy to write the program, requires translator, and it is a machine independent. So different software you can use C, C++, language Java, Pascal, COBOL and BASIC you can use it. And what is the meaning of source program? The program written in the high level language is called as a source program. And the object program, the program in a machine language is called as a object program. So in source program, you can use your own extension .c, .java, different programming languages used. and in object you can use dot object. Okay, so first dot object. So these are the languages which you are going to use by what? Programming languages. Okay, so again in programming languages you are going to use one pseudo instruction. What is that pseudo instruction? A pseudo instruction is not a machine instruction but rather an instruction to the assembler giving information about some phase of that translation. Okay, so that is the pseudo instruction. So pseudo instruction is a not a machine instruction but rather an instruction to the assembler giving information about some phase of translations. Like you can use one table symbol and information for the assembler. What is that symbol? In symbol you are going to use for one instruction, that is ORGN. Means what? Hexadecimal number n is the memory location for the instruction or operand listed in the following line. One more, the symbol END denotes the end of the symbolic program. DECN signed decimal number n to be converted into decimal number converted into binary. Hex n, hexadecimal number n to be converted into binary. So these are the pseudo instructions which are used while developing the assembly level language programming. So every instruction is having some symbolic representation. So symbolically easily understand the humans, but in machine language does not understand the zeros and ones. So you cannot remember the zeros and ones easily. So easily you can remember the mnemonics, or you can use the symbolic representation. Okay, so that's why again this assembly language is a very important part of that computer architecture. So next class we will discuss that subroutines, queues. Okay, these are the important concept which are related to again the computer architecture part. So these are the basic things in your first chapter. It's a very important. We should remember all the features which are related to languages. Okay, so I hope you people might have understood this concept. Okay, so thank you.